studies say people can only remember 4 things at a time. Some studies say people can remember 7 things at a time. Regardless, remembering how many things you need to remember could help you to remember. For example, today we're going to do test 1, section 1, number 8, and it's a vocabulary and context question. For vocabulary and context question, there's 4 things that you need to remember. Number 1, you want to ignore any meaning of the word that you're familiar with, because 3 out of 4 times, the most common meaning of the word is going to be wrong. Another thing is you could put each answer choice in place of the original word. So we're going to read the context that form appears, and then we got to read appearance in place, custom in place, etc., etc. Number 3, you can think of your own word or words that fit in place of the underlined word. So you think of your own word that fits in its place, or you could just think of the meaning of the word that would fit into place. And worst comes to worst, you could just say, hey, what does the sentence mean? That could be helpful as well. And the last thing is, you can look for a synonym or an antonym before or after the word being asked about. A lot of times there'll be parallel structure, there'll be a word that corresponds, and that will give you a hint as to what the meaning of the word is. When you find a synonym to the word in the context, working off of that synonym is going to lead you to the correct answer a little bit easier than working off of the original word. So those are your 4 things. So if you remember that there are 4 things, then you'll remember if you don't remember one, and then you got to study some more. So anyway, question 8 reads, as used in line 2, the word form most nearly means. So we go to line 2, and we see here 1, 2. And I'm going to read a little bit before, just to get some context. Akira came directly, breaking all tradition. Was that it? Had he followed form? Had he asked his mother to speak to his father to approach a go-between? Would she have been more receptive? So did you catch it? There's actually a word that's a synonym to form in this context. Notice what it said in the first sentence. It said, Akira came directly, breaking all tradition. Was that it? Had he followed tradition? Had he asked his mother to speak to his father to approach a go-between, would she have been more receptive? So form in this context is a synonym to tradition. And now what we're going to do is we're going to go to the answer choices, keeping in mind that our correct answer is going to have something to do with, it's going to mean tradition basically. So when we go to number 8, form, tradition, appearance. Had he followed appearance? That doesn't mean tradition. Custom, had he followed custom? Custom is a good synonym to tradition. Had he followed structure? Kind of, sort of, not really. Had he followed structure, would she have been more receptive? And had he followed nature, would she have been more receptive? None of those are right. It's definitely going to be custom here. But notice what I also did. I thought back, and you could, on test 8, you're going to be able to flip. I would have to scroll back and forth. You could use more than one of these methods. So you could read with it in place, and you could think of your own word, and you could find a synonym in the answer choices. That's a foolproof way to get a question like this correct. Thank you for joining us today. If you like this video, click like. You can share it with someone who has trouble with vocabulary and context questions. If there's any question you'd like to see answered from any official PSAT or SAT or ACT, leave that in the comments. I'd be happy to shoot a video on it. And click subscribe so you don't miss anything. Have a great day.